Sweet. Recording started. Thanks for coming to Divi Salt Lake City. I feel like I've been on a bit of a hiatus lately. Work and life have just been a bit too busy to think about a meetup. But here we are. And today I wanted to show you guys how you can remove the default footer that says powered by elegant themes and all that, and actually create a custom footer. And super easy, but to do that, we're going to use the Divi theme builder. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And we'll dive into the demo site. Sweet. Okay, so here's our demo site. Here at the bottom, we can see our default Divi theme footer. We have our widgets columns here, and then at the very bottom, this is what most people want to remove, is this phrase right here: designed by elegant themes, powered by WordPress. That's great, but not great for your website. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to open a new tab here, and we'll go to Divi theme builder. And we're going to add a global footer here in this first box. And that way, our custom footer will appear on every page throughout their website, and we only have to do this once. Okay, so we get a blank page builder template here, and I'm going to add a row and a text module inside of it. And we get our typical placeholder text. And I'm going to click on this icon for dynamic content here in the top right corner of our text area box. So we enable that, and then I'm going to select the option here towards the bottom that says current date. And I'll tell you why here in a second. Most copyright statements that appear in a footer area show the current year that's there. So I'm going to change our date format from default to custom. And then under the field custom date format, I'm going to put a capital Y. And all that's going to do is display the current year. Okay. And then before that, in the before field, I'm going to type in copyright. And then I can put in a copyright symbol by typing in the ampersand sign and then copy semicolon. And I want to add a space after that. And we can see this showing up live. So we have copyright 2023. Then after that, it can really be up to you what you put, but we can typically just put the business name, or sometimes I'll add all rights reserved to go with it, and then the business name after that. So what we're doing here is we're using dynamic content to get the current year in there, so we don't ever have to change it again. But we're adding text before and after the year to complete our copyright statement in the footer. Okay, so that's it. Then we'll click the green check mark to save it. And then from here, we can start to style our footer. So we'll just keep it simple. We'll do a black background. I like to keep it nice and skinny, so I'm going to take out all the padding from the section. Do that on the top and the bottom. And for the text, again, I like to keep it simple, so we'll do white text. I also like to keep it kind of small, so I'll do 12 pixel font, all caps. Kind of helps make it a little bigger. And then I'll just add some letter spacing to kind of space it out. And depending on the design, I might center it, might leave it here on the left, but that's pretty much the essence right there. So now I can save our layout. Okay. And then we need to save our theme builder changes as well, because we just added a global footer to the whole mix here, so we need to save that as well. And now let's go back to our home page here, and we'll just refresh the page. And now you can see our whole footer's gone, replaced by our new copyright statement. So pretty simple, but we can also expand upon it. A lot of footers will have like popular links or a contact form or their logo. So we can also do that right here in our footer so it appears on every page. So we can just add a section and we'll do 4 columns, why not? Image, we'll add an image because we want to put our logo there. And if we've added our logo to our Divi theme options section, then the logo should already be set for the website. So I can use dynamic content to load in the logo for the footer, so it's the same across the board. I do want this additional content above our copyright statement, so I'll move that up. And then we can add more text, such as, let's see, popular links, do something like that. And then in the other column, we could do all of our legal pages, such as privacy policy, terms and conditions, whatever we want. Okay. So you can just make it somewhat stylish. Really just depends on your overall website design on how this can look and should look. So we'll take out some of the padding on top of the section, and hopefully you guys are getting the idea of how we can create a custom footer to match our website in the best way possible. So let's refresh our page. The logo, we don't have a logo set, so it's not showing. But here's our footer. We added that border top to kind of separate the footer from the rest of the content above. But now we have our links and our copyright statement. So super quick demo, super easy to do, but it's also something that everyone wants to do. Because otherwise, not doing it this way will require either editing code files for the theme to add in your custom copyright statement, or another plugin even to modify this. But you don't need either, just because Theme Builder can do it all. So with that, any questions? Can I go over anything else?
Hey, that was awesome from what I can hear. And you're recording this so I can like look it over later, because you know I'm a child theme guy, so I've been doing all that in the child theme. But if I could do it in Divi, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, totally. And I've have historically done it in child themes as well, just because I can add in the PHP to get my current year and do all that, which is nice. But sometimes child theme is too much. You're adding extra things there that you don't need or will never use. So yeah, using dynamic content to just get the current year, that's half the battle, I feel like, is just getting the current year. So yeah, super easy to do. How you doing, Jan? Do you have any questions?
No. I was just taking notes. And I like that you recorded, because then we can.
Yep. Yeah, and once the video is processed, I'll send it out so you guys have it. So yeah, so that's pretty much my demo. If you guys don't have other questions, I'm happy to answer anything else, or we can look at anything else you've got.
And on that, when you put in that date in, or the company or whatever in the after field, there was a space before you put in your text.
Yep.
so that the date doesn't run into the text in the after box. You have to
Correct.
put that space in the beginning, right? Yeah.
Yep. And the same would be for the before text field or the after one as well. Just because our dynamic content's not going to give any extra spacing around it.
Right.
So we have to add in those spaces before and after if we're going to wrap it with content like that. Yeah.
If you want.
Yeah. Good eye. Noticing that little detail.
Otherwise, it takes 2 tries. You put it in there, and then you think, "Oh my goodness, there's no space." Then you go back
Yep.
in the second time, you put in a space.
Yep.
But I don't use a space before. I have just a C circle and then the numbers right after the C circles.
Mm. Yeah,
Oh.
that's a pretty common format too for the copyright statement.
So depending how you like your spacing, but for sure you want the one in the after box.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I also use ampersand bull bull semicolon in the
Oh yeah.
after box to as a separator between company name and all rights reserved. I like to put like a bullet rather than, I don't know what you put in there, spaces or dots or dashes. But
I put in a bullet.
ampersand bullet.
Yeah. So
Then there's all these there's like Unicode symbols, the bullets, so you can have a larger circle, smaller circle, or various other symbols that you can look up from the Unicode HTML code set to put in there as well, if you don't like this.
The default one.
Yeah.
Do you have a website reference that you like the most for Unicode? And there's a ton out there.
I just Google it. Yeah. So there's
Okay.
the ampersand mid dot semicolon is the small one, and then ampersand bull semicolon is the larger one. So between those two is the ones I use. I typically use the bull.
Same. It's easier to remember.
Yeah.
Cool. What else can I show you guys? You guys are pros pretty much. No, Jan, you don't think you're.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm trying to think of what else I can show you guys.
Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
When you, because I couldn't really see what was going on, but you were talking about throwing links in that, because I when I do my child theme version of what you're showing, I throw links into terms of use and privacy page. And of course, the name of the website links back up to the home page and all that kind of stuff. If you were adding that in as dynamic content, are those hrefs automatically inserted?
Not those links typically, and I've done, depends on how many links there are, but I'll just use a regular text field and just statically put in the links. For clients that are managing their own website and know to go to the menus area of WordPress and can toggle between main menu, footer menu, or any other menu, at that point, then I will create a footer menu or a set of footer menus. So I'd have a menu of popular links, a menu of legal pages, a menu of whatever. And then I will put those using the menu module into the footer area. And then I'll use CSS to prevent it from becoming a mobile menu when the screen gets smaller, but still stack the links on top of one another. And then you can manage it through the menu section as well. That's, yeah, one of the two ways is typically what I do. Yeah, I don't think dynamic content can handle that specifically.
Cool. So, yeah, I don't think I've ever used a menu module. So, cool. Well, I use the menus in the appearance settings section of WordPress, but yeah, I've never. I don't think I even knew that Divi had a menus module. So something else new to go check out.
Yeah, the menu module is cool. I would say it's more attuned for being like your main navigation at the top of the page, because you can have your logo displayed at the same time and have a few options there. But it still works, and I can still customize it with CSS to put it in other places. So, but
Awesome.
yeah, I think if you are going to put it in the footer, you'll definitely want to add some CSS to prevent the mobile hamburger menu from showing up, because that's just a terrible experience for the footer.
Yeah, it could be confusing.
Yeah. So let's see. I can show you guys a recent project I've been working that I finished, and I finished it kind of back in December. But with how infrequent I've been doing these meetups, I don't think you guys have seen it. So
Good. Sure.
let's see, a window. Okay, so this is a pest control company. They're a national brand, and we took about 3 months of intense design work and building out to get what we have here. But some of the cool things here, and I'll just maybe point some of these out, is we have a fixed header section, so that as you start scrolling, it stays behind all the content that comes up. And so this is a pretty common design element throughout the website, is having that fixed header at the top, and also the fixed navigation. That's pretty common. But our menu is entirely custom. We don't even use what's built in with Divi or WordPress. And so it's a flyout menu that's custom with some hover animations where we get this arrow that kind of slides in from the left as well.
Nice.
So yeah, we got different kinds of buttons. They all kind of have the same arrow element on hover, but yeah. And then we have a series of sliders, and most of the sliders have a different design to it, but we're using the same plugin, the same Divi slider plugin. I can't remember which one exactly it is, but we're using the exact same slider module for this, but we're using CSS to entirely customize it so that they're all different. And I'll show here's another slider. each element or item in the slider is different from the one above. So we did that, and yeah,
Nice.
and then thanks.
Yeah.
And then here's the custom footer, this whole area. So this is all static text that we've added to these different columns here. But yeah, one big part to this website was actually getting this build a plan page set up, and so you can enter your address, and it loads this pseudo loading page. There's no reason for this page to be here. We just they wanted it to feel like we were actually putting something cool together, which we are, but they just wanted to make it feel like something great was coming on the other end. So using a lot of Google APIs and different weather APIs, where we can pull in the current weather for that address with temperature, humidity, climate zone, wind speed, all that. And then we have our lead gen form for them to fill out. Because basically what that first step was is that we check their address to make sure they're in a serviceable area. And if they are, they see this page. If they're not, we tell them that we most likely can't, and then to actually give us a call and discuss options. So we did that, and then also based on their address, we're using a bunch of code to actually pull in the branch that's in their area. So if they wanted to call or talk to someone locally, they could do that as well. And then we also have a set of pests, and all of this is using custom post types and advanced custom fields, and tying everything together through zip codes to display the area, specific area information. So, so yeah, lots happening here on this website. This is our blog page. So again, you can see the static header section that tucks behind all the content. And for this page, we're using a lot of the plugin called Divi Filter Grid, and then just styling it to be unique and to match the design they had. Yeah, this is more Divi Filter Grid, pulling in all of our blog posts that they have. So yeah, this is I guess we could call it a labor of love. Just definitely lots going on here, but very cool. I think they had a lot of neat touch points and interactions throughout the website that were fun to code and to bring to life here. So one thing they wanted here is this scroll. Why, I don't know, but they wanted it, and if you click on it, it actually pulls the content up to the top of the page. So, and we have a database of all kinds of things. So yeah, this was a big project end of last year, and actually continues to be, because we're constantly adding additions and changes to it, and getting to add even more to it here in the coming months. So it's been fun. Yeah. Any questions about that? How I did anything, or want to see more? Try and find another recent project.
Beautiful.
What was that?
I said it's really beautiful. I mean, it seems very accessible, easy to use.
Oh, good. Thanks. Yeah, that was a big thing. And even talking about the design does it make sense? Is accessible? Is it easy to read? Yeah, lots of effort. A huge team effort, in fact. because this is a national brand, they have quite the force behind them. And so there's probably about a dozen people involved on this project, all in. But I was the guy who used Divi, who built it all, and all that. So it was fun.
How about the photographs? Are they stock photos, or and those all those little critters? Did they supply that to you, or?
They did, yeah. Everything here, they have an artist on staff who has done all these drawings, all the renderings of the pests that they treat. They had someone draw all those. Yep, and they've taken all their own photos too. So everything we see here, they've done everything. So
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty neat.
Nice.
Let's see. Could switch gears a little bit here. Let's see.
That's a lot of bugs they have in there. Library.
Oh yeah, lots of bugs.
Huh.
Let's see. All right, Chris, thanks for coming. Appreciate it. Let me show you this one. Looks like some of the images are broken, but this one I did a little bit ago. This is called Sentinel Studio, and they're in the business of making candles with custom logos, like business promotions or things like that. You can put your logo on candles, jars, containers, things like that. But what is really design-wise interesting with this website is all the borders and all the grid fashion for this. And I'll tell you, it's a challenge to get borders like this everywhere, and then how to also work fluidly so that you don't have a random left border or right border when it should suddenly be on the bottom. So there's a lot of mobile details that come into this, but yeah, they wanted this grid look here for everything. So it was a very different type of design, but it actually ended up being a very fun design to put together just for the challenge. So, but yeah, the key here was using a lot of, or knowing when to have a row go full width versus stay within a certain max width, like only 90% or 1080 pixels. That was kind of the challenge here, is identifying when a section or a row needed that sort of treatment so that we could reach the design. So yeah. That's that. It was fun. It's fun to put together. And I'll show you one last one. This is for Duo Group, also pretty recent, Duo Marketing Group. And when you talk about creative things, unique things, bust out all your CSS skills you've got for design style, this is it. Because as we scroll, we have elements that stick. We have text that looks like it's ghosting behind as we scroll. And then everything pushes up as we keep scrolling. So that, I mean, that's a challenge too, making sure there's enough space for certain elements to stick and then move out of the way as we keep scrolling. You probably noticed the background color change as we scrolled, as we hit certain points on the page. The color of the text changes. This graphic, the duo, the part of their logo changed colors. We've got elements that are fading in as we scroll. And other elements that are sticking on the side, like here on the left. So we have some of that happening. And then everything keeps moving up. Here's our color change again. We went from black text to white background to black. We've got background videos playing on the side. Audio files people can play.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, there's, I think it's on this page. Probably not. Oh, here's the team. They they really wanted this agency mode and normal mode. So when we toggle, their headshots change from serious to fun.
Normal, huh? Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll jump to, yeah. They have this right here, so you'll see kind of the text as we scroll, how it kind of changes colors. Each word by word, changes as we scroll.
My goodness.
Images, yeah. There's a lot happening here.
Wow.
And
Duo group.
there's me.
Love it.
And then this section is actually pretty unique as well. So we have content here. So number one, gather. That's kind of their process here. But to toggle between the content is we have this kind of navigation here up on the right side. And so we click on it and it fades, it switches to the other one. I don't know why it's jumping like that right now, but so yeah, just another very interesting way of doing things. So yeah, there's a lot of Divi in this. There's also a lot of CSS as well that is at play with all this. So pretty cool, pretty fun. Took hours and hours and hours to build.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Just with the amount of CSS and testing, because we added some JavaScript to detect the amount of scroll, percentage of scroll on the page, and using that, we were then able to say at a certain percentage as you scroll, we want colors to change or the background color to change. And so we were a lot of testing went into tracking how far on the page we wanted and at what point we wanted to change anything. And so there's a lot of that. And then screen sizes, of course, have a big impact on how all that works. So this was another, it was a fun project. Yeah. If you're looking for inspiration or a challenge, come to duogroup.com. This is it was fun. There's still probably plenty of room for improvement on how some of this is put together, but yeah.
Oh, so I have a question. Where are you putting the CSS? Is it just in that single place, or is it per page, or where do you have it?
Good question. So because every page is a tiny bit different. And so the background color changing, every page is different on when we want that to happen. So we're adding CSS to the page settings custom CSS area. Just because every page is a tiny bit unique. And it was just easier to put the specific CSS for that page right there rather than adding it to the typical Divi theme options or creating a whole bunch of different IDs or classes or whatever to make it unique. It was just easier to have the same block of CSS from page to page and then modify our values for that page to keep it easier to manage. So,
okay.
Yeah. And these guys, interesting enough, I guess, wanted to do for their lead gen, rather than just your typical form that shows most of the fields up front, they wanted to kind of go step by step. So we click get started, enter your name, next, name of your company, next, what's your email, next.
That looks terrible.
That's what they wanted.
People are gonna quit after the first two.
Yeah.
The typical marketing thing is you have to get it in one click, otherwise people won't bother. So that's a hindrance.
Absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the customer.
But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's what they wanted. One thing I can say about the Duo Group is they're definitely a marketing agency that's looking for new ways to do things, possibly better or worse. At the end of the day, they want to stand out, and I think with their website alone, they're definitely achieving that. So
there's a lot of things going on with that for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yes. Very, very busy website. But what's cool about this site, there's also big effort too in making this 100% fluid. And so regardless of browser size, so if you're on a big 27-inch monitor and you have this full screen, everything is going to scale to fit that screen. Or even if we shrink it down, everything is going to scale with the size of the browser, so that we have the essence of everything here, and we're not worried about text wrapping or any of that. We've tried to be very conscious with being as fluid as possible with the design. So.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah,
I see. Huh.
So that's what I got for you guys.
All right.
That's good. I love to see, and the difference, it's a different customers you have.
Yeah. Yeah, each of those websites are uniquely different, which I think one attributes to the power of Divi, how much it can mold and become something unique. And I'm not building the same site over and over for everyone, which keeps things interesting. So
yeah.
I bet you realize how much time it takes you. I bet you're always probably unrealistic, thinking, "Oh, why don't you do this?" And they think you're going to be able to do it like that.
Some people do, and I'm like, "Oh no, sorry. Like, you want something custom, and it's going to take custom time."
Yeah.
So, yeah, I have you guys seen Avengers Endgame? Are you familiar with Thanos snapping his finger? Do you know any of that? No?
No.
All right. Pop culture reference. Never mind. It won't make sense. Yeah. Yeah. for those who know, I joke all the time. It's like, I'll tell you what happens when you snap your finger. Half the population is disseminated. So careful what you ask for. Anyway, so all right, guys. Well, that's kind of the end of our hour.
Looks good.
Hopefully-
Very inspiring examples you got there.
Oh, thank you.
Both creative and inspiring.
Yeah,
So,
they were fun. They took a long time, but they were certainly fun to stretch the skills and even learn a few new things along the way to get it done. So
cool.
It's always good to have those things to stretch us a little bit, help us grow. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. As always, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Intimate group. Yeah.
Great.
So I'll do better about having to meet up next month. And if you guys have topic ideas that we can discuss or demos I can do, let me know.
Okay.
Shoot me a message through Meetup or whatever, and happy to incorporate that so that you feel like you're getting even more out of this meetup for coming. So
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Good
thanks,
one.
guys.
See you guys.
Have a good one. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.